and welcome back to Hairdressing Live. We have, not only is this guy, I've followed his work for some time, but he's a very, very close friend of mine. He's also been a mentor to me in my hairdressing career. I've known him for, I'm not going to tell you for how long, because it shows our age, but I'm so happy to have David Barnett with me today, covering a course which I truly believe is so valuable to all of us in the industry. It's fully booked in 90 days. He's going to tell us a little bit more about that. But we have some questions that we've had from some of the viewers as well that have asked in. So let me, can I start with, obviously this is an educational website, David, and welcome to 37 in Dublin here. Tell us a little bit about what does education mean to you, because you're involved in education yourself.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say that I'll tell you how long we know each other, because Paul's about 5 years older than me. So I was 10 and he was 15 when we first met. No, but what does education mean to me? Education has always been part of what we do, part of my entire career since we started from day one. And I think that if you look at all of the greats in hairdressing or in any industry, they always have education as part of what they do, whether they are delivering it or whether they are attending it. So for me, it's always been part of my industry, of my career, and it always will be part of my career.
Good. Yeah. Very good. I mean, look, we have you here today to cover, which I believe is something that we need, right? It's something that every salon, I mean, whether people talk about this or not, I think it's so valuable, because there was an age there, maybe about 10 years ago, where we were, everybody's very, very busy, and we'd be able to take on many, many people. We're working in a society where there's like loads of different competition, and to take on new people, to build on clientele, it requires a certain mindset and strategies or strategic aspects to it, and that's something that you're covering today. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I firmly believe that it has never been easier than it is today to become highly successful in our industry, and highly successful as an individual in our industry. So I mean, back in the day, when we started out, it was a case of who you worked for, what magazines they were working with, how they were, if they were doing editorials, if they were doing other types of advertising or whatever it may be, in order to get the word out there. Now, we can really become entrepreneurs ourselves. Stylists can become entrepreneurs and become highly successful in their own right when they know the tools and the systems and the strategies, and they put them in place consistently every single day.
I can't wait. I mean, I was going through some of the content with you, and I think it's right on point. I think everything is right on point. So I can't wait for the viewers there today to witness this. Listen, tell me about your highlights of your career, because you've lived in, it's like you've done a 360. You're back in Dublin again, but you started here. But you spent some time in the US, didn't you? So tell us about list some highlights that you've...
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's so great to be back in Dublin. I mean, Irish hairdressing, the Irish hairdressing community just means so much to me. It's got a really special place in my heart where everything kind of kicked off for me. So, yeah, I mean, it's great to be back. I mean, I did go and live in the United States for almost 15 years. I was in New York City. I got to work with John Barrett. I mean, John Barrett has an amazing salon on Fifth Avenue in the penthouse in Bergdorf Goodman. When I moved to John's salon, I really got an idea of a different type of hairdressing that was going on and what was really possible. Because this salon was doing £12 million a year, $12 million a year.
Wow.
12 million a year, and we had 100 staff members, so he's doing $1 million a month, and also above that, I mean, the stylists, the income that they were earning, they were all earning six figures, some of them in the mid to high six figures, so you're talking 500,000 plus a year working behind the chair doing guests. So this light bulb went on for me, I was like, what the heck are they doing differently? How are these guys making so much money? Now, yes, they were charging a lot for their services. I mean, I was charging $200 a haircut when I was in New York. My boss was charging $500. I think he's up to $700 now. So yes, they were charging a lot of money. But I started thinking to myself, well, could this work in any situation? Could this work in any market? In any town? Could it work in a small town? Does it have to be New York City? So I think taking what I learned there and then going and opening my own place in Northern California in a tiny town, just 10,000 people, and we only had 7 stylists, but being able to implement what I learned in New York and then see the results, take my salon to 7 figures, over $1 million a year, and then have my stylists all earning over 6 figures, so I mean it just that was probably the highlight of my career, being able to do that for my stylists, for my team, being able to deliver them the systems and strategies that they needed in order to take their career to that level and live an amazing lifestyle.
Do you know what I have to say? I mean, I have the ability to talk to David, and like I says, you've influenced me, and I've learned a lot by your career as well as and that's what I suppose Hairdressing Live, to me is about. It's about sharing information. It's about accessing information on the money right now, right? And it's about accessing that. So we're capturing loads of different artists, whether it be trends, whether it be current aspects, the way the sort of business of work, has developed and evolved over the years. So I do truly believe even this today, to bring you into this environment and actually for our viewers to learn from this is invaluable to us. It's actually invaluable, which is great. Look, tell me a little bit about, you've been watching our feeds and everything with Hairdressing Live. What does Hairdressing Live mean to you, to the viewers?
Well, after teaching classes all over the world, I've been fortunate enough to do that, and the biggest thing I feel that hairdressers struggle to find on a consistent basis is inspiration. All right, in order to get inspiration, we normally have to go and see an amazing class, which could cost us hundreds, if not thousands, to go and see it, or we go and take a course somewhere, Having Hairdressing Live means that you can be inspired every single week. When we go and see a live course or a demonstration, normally, that inspiration lasts for maybe a week, maybe 2, maybe a month if it's a mind-blowing demonstration, great class. But being able to get a piece of this every single week, for such a low investment, such a minimal investment, and be able to see the types of people that you have on board. People like yourself cutting hair, I saw Catherine Sweeney a few weeks ago as well, absolutely incredible. Dylan Bradshaw a couple of weeks ago as well. And, that caliber of stylists being able to be delivered directly to you can keep you inspired and keep you motivated and keep your business building.
Excellent. Even if you take like 1 or 2 bits or even 3 or 4 bits from that, it's invaluable. Inspiration, and it gives you a different aspect on your career, I suppose. And it's what I always look at education as being, it's what disciplines you, it's what grounds you, and it's what inspires you to go on in any career. Whether it be hairdressing, whether it be something else. It's something that sort of can continuously give you something, at the end of the week, which is great. So look, what I wanted to do is ask you a few nitty-gritty questions, as I've done with everybody, okay? So look, you're a bit of a foodie. What's your favorite food?
You know what? I knew you were going to ask me this, and it's so difficult. And the answer to me is that
Nicole's cooking, isn't it?
Of course, I love Nicole's cooking. But what I love is going out for dinner. I love going out, I
don't like Nicole's cooking.
Go out on my own, sit at the bar somewhere, pie and a pint. No, of course I love my wife's cooking. I love going out with my wife for dinner, and I love going and having the experience of eating out because, I love the service aspect. Service is such a priority for me in everything that we do. So I love going out and being spoiled, so all food. But I love being out. Okay.
What's your aftershave? What's your smell?
Oh wow! I don't know what I've got on right now. I think
Is it dupe? Is it dupe? Fond lover of dupe back in the day. Favorite city?
Oh, favorite city. I think it's a toss-up between Paris and New York. New York's always gonna have a special place in my heart. For sure.
Okay. Favorite decade?
Favorite decade, I think.
For inspiration for hair, obviously, because we're talking about hair.
Yeah, of course. I think probably 60s.
My favorite too, actually. There you go. Mac or PC?
Mac.
Fry up or smoothie?
I should be saying smoothie, but I love a good fry up too.
Like fish and chips, I believe, as well. But listen, thank you very much, David, for joining us today. I can't wait for this class, actually. I'm going to learn so much by it as well. So the presentation is starting at 2 o'clock. If you do not have your ticket, get one now. You get lifetime access to this course. So, look, you can review it and review it back and forward again and again. So, look, please tune in and see this guy do his bit. Okay? Thank you very much.
See you later.